overcoming that fear. You talked about fear. If any of you were sitting there, I mean, you think about what these guys have said is, there's fear out there, but if you ask the question, you'll get volunteers. So I guess my ask of you would be is, ask the question to your company, because I think you probably have those same 10, 20, 30 managers that are willing to help. We just haven't asked the question. Let me skip or jump over to Turning Point. Okay, Chris? James, who did draw the short straw between Bobby and Randy, you did a fantastic job, thank you. He talked about pre-training, and there's probably different opinions out there. There's probably 100 opinions, and we all have an opinion, right? Of what's the right way to do this. I guess I'm interested in your perspective, if you could explain to the audience. We don't have a day to talk about the curriculum, but what's it look and feel like? If I was a candidate going to Turning Point, because there's a lot of there's great agencies sitting out here today, and please continue doing what you're doing with the community. We need you. But what's this look and feel like? How do you think it'll be effective? Why do you think it'll be effective? If you give them a little taste.
Sure, thanks. Basically, what the day looks like. There's going to be two different folds of this program. One, James talked quite a bit about the career opportunity program. The other part that we need to remember is the life skills component. The ability to work on self-advocacy, the ability to work on social skills, most importantly, and then also the ability to work on these life skills, the learning to live. So that's what we're looking for. The next component, James talked quite a bit about, is our pre-training component. We've seen a lot of great successes. I kind of laughed when Randy talked about the tennis ball and the hockey stick. This is why we had to come up with a pre-training component. We had to go further and go better. We've already seen a lot of great successes from this program. To a lot of you, this might be new. This might be kind of foreign to hear about it. We've heard about great successes in Walgreens. We've taken the same idea and worked it within San Francisco within a contract that I was working on for the last year and a half. We've seen people, one, be able to be independent, two, successful, and three, most importantly, qualified. And that's the difference. That's what a pre-training component will help. So what we're going to look at, you're going to come in at 9 o'clock in the morning. You're going to go ahead and start working on all these different skills, these life skills, money management, accommodations. What kind of strategies are we going to have to implement to make sure that you are successful? After that, of course, you're going to need lunch, Mark. And then you're going to go ahead and you're going to work into your program with the career corporations and actually get a look at what is going on. What I've found that's kind of been interesting lately is that doing a task analysis and breaking down the job. Mark, you got a chance to look at it. How many different steps was it to use a check at Office Max?
24.
24 different steps to use a check. Why do we do these task analysis? We can break them down into systematic components, teachable steps. Randy talked about that certain people need a different form of teaching methodology. This is what this pre-training component gives us. A way to break these down into systematic steps and to teach them so it's easily achieved. Therefore, we will have successful career candidates within our program.
Everybody doesn't have to be full-time, though, do they?
Sorry, they do not have to be full-time.
And it's individualized.
Yes.
So basically there's an intake process, and just like the IEP, we're actually thinking of something new, a new acronym we can add, the ICDP. The Individualized Career Development Program, why not? I've never heard it, okay? I think it'd be kind of cool. It'd be kind of cool, I like that. So the Individualized Career Development Plan, we basically work through that so that you're individual, and if you're a school here, think about your kids in transition. I don't know what it'll look like, because quite frankly, we're doing some stuff, we're staying out of that planning door a little bit, like you talked about. And we will make some mistakes, but this is really cool and new stuff. So everyone doesn't have to be full-time. We hope to start at age 14 and through adulthood and basically provide an opportunity in individualized career development perspective. Fair to say that? Okay. Walgreens and or Office Max or both. You guys have lots of programs out there. Do you think pre-training is one that has a greater chance of success to give qualified candidates? And it might not be with us, it might be in 10 other states. I don't care where it is, but is this pre-training component a good idea, one that you guys think can be successful?
Yes. I'll add on a little bit to that.
That was a loaded question. Why?
It took you longer to ask it than for me to answer.
You're more concise than that.
I think what we learned in Anderson and the lessons we learned in Anderson, the guidelines that we attribute to our success, or what we continue to try to promote through the rest of the distribution centers and now into our stores, is that we went to a training on autism once, and the instructor said, once you've met one person with autism, you've met one person. and that apparently really rings true in the autism community. Everybody's a little bit different, and pre-training allows individuals to be met where they are and take whatever time and whatever steps they need to get to where they need to be. Not everybody needs pre-training, but there are a lot of individuals who can't be successful without it. And so pre-training really provides that environment that's self-paced, the environment where things can be done a little bit differently than we could in a real environment. And it gives them opportunity to use the same stuff that we're using in our stores, from our perspective, to do that sort of stuff. It gives you an opportunity to fail in a big way, in a place that's safe from the corporation's perspective. But it also gives you a great way to learn how to do things differently. People who have been in the pre-training centers at the Anderson, South Carolina building came in with new ways to do things that were better than we had ever thought of. So it also allows a lot of innovation that sometimes you can't get out of the real environment.
I don't know that I have a whole lot to add to that. I mean, I think that the benefits are very much the same. It's that reduced ramp-up time, the comfort level that both the students and to a large degree by getting our managers and our associates to help participate in the training. There's learning on our end too on how to help them be successful in the environment once they get there. So not only are they learning in a safe environment so that when they get to the stores or the distribution center, they can be successful right out of the gate. But our managers and potentially their peers get the opportunity to work with them and learn from them as to how to make them successful and to start overcoming some of those fears and concerns that maybe you don't know about before you go. I mean, I think that's a tremendous point that a lot of people don't talk about. And it's just, fear itself is what drives us away from admitting that we have a fear about something new or different. This environment is as much for our team members to go in and learn as it is for the students to come in and learn about what they're going to go into. So I think it's tremendous, and the benefits will be unbelievable.
Thank you.
Can I add something?
You absolutely can.
And the assessment part of the pre-training is going to help us and our store managers decide who belongs where and what they're capable of, versus somebody coming in and just saying, well, I don't know what they can do because we haven't gone down this route. So I think that we'll be able to jump a whole lot of steps. I mean, I know, Joe, you have an autistic person who works in your store who's on the cash register, same as Randy's. And I have some students in my stores who check dates. I have students in other stores who go and put up merchandise on warehouse day, which is so important. I mean, so I think just being able to assess where they're at, where they can go, and seeing the potential that's out in them.
Great, thank you. 2 more questions, I promise, and we're done. I'm going to give one to Drew, and then I'm going to give the final word to Walgreens and Office Max to basically, any final comments you want to make in terms of, what you look forward to from this partnership and anything you've seen today. Certainly have more dynamic speakers than I would be. Drew, what I'm interested in, there's some people out there that say, is Walgreens and Office Max only going to work with Turning Point? And there's others that say, how are you guys going to grow? How do you work with schools and agencies? So if you could give a little perspective of, where do you see Turning Point now? Where do you see Turning Point in its career development maybe 5 years? How are we looking to grow in terms of corporate partners? What are we looking to do in terms of working with agencies and working with schools? Do we think we're exclusive, or do we think this has to be a collaborative effort? If you give a little perspective of where you see the future of the organization.
Sure, Mark, I sure will. Thank you. First of all, to speak to where we're at, we have 2 corporate partners. We have several more that are in the pipeline. Our goal of our program is to have 5 to 10 partners within the next 2 years, so we can offer a multitude of different opportunities. This is all about opportunity. We don't want to tell our students, you've got this choice or that choice. A big strength of what we see in opportunity is self-determination. The ability for them to be able to choose and enjoy what they do. So the more partners we can engage with to provide those opportunities, the better. From a school district perspective, we'll be developing our transition program within the next year as well. We would love to be able to collaborate with you to first of all, help put this together in a way that's supportive of what your needs are. One area of success I think we've had is, and I think we showed it with Walgreens and Office Max, is we listen pretty well, I feel. Just to give you a little snippet of background on our organization that I think is a pretty good selling point for us is our board is comprised almost entirely of business people with business backgrounds. we feel we bring a very high level of innovation and accountability to what we do. And we're very proud of that, and we're committed to that. So our commitment to you, if you do come to be our partner, is we love to work innovatively with collaborative partners, and I can promise you as the executive director that the accountability will be there to deliver results. We'll make that commitment, and we'll live up to that commitment. So I would see a strong opportunity for collaboration both with school districts and then our other providers that are here, other vocational rehab and service providers. It's a great representation of great organizations in the room, and you've been doing great work. We've taken on just a component of the work that's needed in order to meet this need, this great need. So we would love to, and I'll be reaching out to you within the next month to see how we can collaborate to use our resources and what we're developing in order to help you forward your programs as well. Because, as I said, the need is great, the opportunities are there. So I really welcome that with those of you that have been doing great work already. So we're really excited about that. I just want to share, for the long-range vision, what's really excited me about our engagement with these companies and what we're looking for in the future. And that's when I talked about Don Triplett's story. I talked about the communities needing to meet our individuals with needs somewhere. And what really lights me up is when I hear Walgreens and OfficeMax share stories about those individuals and their organizations that have stepped forward to meet the need. They've said, on my time, I'm going to take this on. On my time, I'm going to be part of the solution. To me, that's where the solution lies. I invite you to consider what you can do on your time to take the initiative to create change in your organizations and to be a partner with us. We're all about partnership, we're all about collaboration, and I'd love to see you be a partner with us. And I'm going to toss an audible here on our questions. Just one thing that I really would love to hear addressed, and that is, Walgreens kind of set the bar and raised the standard here, and we're our first partner engaged. But I just would like to ask Larry a question, because it really struck me how OfficeMax took this on. Walgreens took the first step, but OfficeMax stepped forward too and took this on. So as we talk today about taking steps, Bobby talked about taking those steps. Randy shared about what it really takes to take those steps to make a difference and create hope. Larry, can you just speak about what moved you? You're Randy's counterpart at OfficeMax in the supply chain. So I'd just like to hear from you, as a partner that's recently engaged with us and become a great collaborator with us. What moved you to do this?
Glad to. Thank you. The first step for me and for Walgreens was a phone call that happened probably 4 or 5 years ago, and Deb was on the phone and Randy was on the phone. And you heard Randy ask the question, who in the room has a child with an IEP? And my hand went up. I have 2 sons that have IEPs. One with a reading disability and ADD. And so the program that Walgreens had going came close to home for me. We had a great conversation, and I was motivated to go down to Anderson. And then when we flew to Anderson with a group of people from OfficeMax and walked through the doors and felt the environment, that's when I knew that this is something that I think Randy's challenged us all. We're all in this room in positions of leadership, and take that opportunity that you've been given in your life to lead and change life. Knowing what my wife and I go through in our home, and seeing the opportunity that I have to work with a large organization in OfficeMax, this was the right opportunity for us. So my inspiration was that phone call and that trip, and wanting to make a